Hello, world. Today I'm going to continue on. For reasons God, the universe, has put you in a way that you are alone. So I'm actually just going to add one new one and go back to one from yesterday. So previous days, you're possibly alone to be learning what your heart needs most. So in a sense, really getting to know your own needs, wants, desires. Really getting to understand that. It's kind of tough sometimes with that one. You might be alone, or also you're alone to remind you you are not ever fully alone. You have God, the universe, however you might call it, and the strength of all your ancestors and all those that have passed before you. It's actually a great, wonderful thing to be able to tune into those energies sometimes. You are possibly alone to reflect and heal. That could be a really, really big thing, especially if you have been living your life under how somebody else expects you to be living. And maybe that's caused you to be sick. And this way you have an opportunity to really understand how your own body, mind, spirit needs its rest and healing on things, as well as reflecting over past memories and going through those sorts of things so that you can really fill those out and understand things and better respond to things in the future instead of reacting to things. To get past your fears and find your strength and ability to do. I want to kind of do on this one a little bit more because it does kind of go into, in my opinion, the next thing that I have, which is to relearn trust. You do need to kind of understand your fears, know your fears, try to work on getting past your fears, or at least acknowledge your fears and know your fears so that you can come into your strength and ability. In order to come into that strength and ability, it really helps you to open up to the trust factor. I myself, may seem in so many ways like I'm very, very trusting. Truth of the matter is I am an observer. I tend to very, very much watch people, learn people, and understand the person so that I can understand them more than I can trust them in so many ways. So I most of us, quite honestly, and even more so today with the in-your-face media making everything seem like it's just happening now and in this instant and on such a big scale level. Of course, that doesn't mean that it wasn't always happening. It's just a little bit on a more quick scale, big scale level of things. And it really can sometimes seem in most ways that the world is not a very good place to be able to trust, at least especially here in America. And because I can't really say much for other countries, to be honest. And so relearning to trust. Sometimes that trust, though, if you don't trust yourself, you're not going to trust anybody else ever. That trust factor really does come within. So in order to be able to trust, you need to find your strength. You need to get past your fears. You need to be able to know your abilities. What are you capable of? Because if you're always feeling like you aren't able to do something on a regular basis, you're losing trust in yourself. I'm on the short factor of life. So I often need to climb on counters or use stools or those sorts of things. I am told climbing counters, and especially probably at my age, not the best thing to do, but sometimes it's the easiest way to get on that top shelf. I don't care who you are. It's sometimes the easiest way to get up on that top shelf. And so being on the short side of life, I know when I was in my younger days, there was a lot of things that I allowed myself with my height to allow my height to be my disadvantage of things. I can't do such and such because I'm not tall enough. Well, this past year and a half now of being alone and left to my own vices and not having somebody that I can call on for sometimes for strength or for other matters that are necessary, I have found myself having to do things that I normally know I would have said, I can't do that. I'm not able to do that. And the truth of the matter is, I absolutely am capable and able of doing it. And I have been proving myself to myself for the past year and a half, time and time again, that I can actually do that. I can lift the heaviest equipment in the world. My hands might not be able to turn that well sometimes, but there's ways of being able to um, get around those sorts of things. So I'm really been able to do a big workaround. And I have found in that whole thing that while I have always trusted myself first and foremost, I have grown and evolved an even deeper, stronger sense of trust because I don't now have that I'm not able to do that sort of attitude or mentality at all. I have the let's see how I can do this sort of mentality. And that moved me into the trusting on other people as well. There's a lot of things in life, and we've all been through instances in life where somebody has done us wrong, and it just gets really hard to be able to trust, whether it be that person or other people, or you see certain things come up in people that remind you of an instance that had happened. So trusting people can be a very hard thing. That's also something, as I've been growing my abilities and capabilities and knowledge on the how I can instead of I'm not able, I am also out able to see from other people how I can trust them. While I'm still necessarily learning them in so many ways to understand how they are, not so much if I can trust them, I am finding, and I have always been in this way in so many ways, but it's making itself much more known that when I have those instances where I don't necessarily feel like I can necessarily trust the person, I know I can trust the universe, God. I can trust that which isn't around me to be able to hold me through the position or the situation or whatever is going on with things to get me through no matter what. So while there might be a lack of a trust factor in that whole way because I don't trust a situation or a person or whatever the case might be, I know that no matter what, I'm going to get out on the other side. I'm going to survive it. I can do at this point. So those two things really kind of, again, started to blend together for me. And since Learn to Trust is on there and trust is a really big thing for me, I wanted to kind of keep that almost to its own. I've got a few more reasons, and again, probably will come up with more reasons as time goes on as to why you might see yourself in a way that you are alone and how you can actually grow from it instead of thinking it's a bad thing. So that is all I have for today. You have a wonderful day.